Hey there, brain rotters. Welcome back to BrainRotFacts, where we dive into the most absurd, ridiculous, and somehow actually successful moments in history. I mean, who needs a cape when you can wear a cardboard box and still change the game? Like, did you know that during World War II, the French resistance used to send fake Nazi propaganda pamphlets to brainwash their own enemies? Yeah, it was like the ultimate troll move. They would create these ridiculous leaflets, full of fake news and outlandish claims, just to make the Germans look silly. Or how about this one? In ancient Greece, they used to cure headaches by applying a live frog to their foreheads. Yeah, because who doesn't love a good amphibian facial? I guess it was like a prehistoric spa day. And surprisingly, people reported relief. And let's not forget about the infamous dancing plague of 1518 in Strasbourg. Apparently, a bunch of people started dancing uncontrollably in the streets and couldn't stop for days. Yeah, it was like the world's worst Zumba party. But somehow, they all survived, and historians are still trying to figure out what caused this bizarre outbreak. Stay tuned, folks. We're just getting started on this journey of utterly bonkers historical facts that actually worked. Intro music plays and host appears on screen with a goofy grin. Host, welcome to BrainRotFacts, where we're about to blow your mind with some of the most ridiculous things in history that somehow worked. I mean, who needs science when you've got dumb luck, right? Let's get this stupid party started. Fact number 1 appears on screen. Host, first up, have you heard of the Great Molasses Flood? No. Well, buckle up, folks, because it's about to get real messy. On January 15, 1919, a storage tank in Boston burst, releasing over 2.3 million gallons of molasses into the streets, and I'm not even exaggerating. Can you imagine wading through sticky, syrupy goo for blocks? It's like someone poured a giant chocolate cake all over the city. Fact number 2 appears on screen. Host, and then there was the tulip mania of 1634. Because nothing says good investment like buying tulips. Apparently, people got so excited about these fancy flowers that they started trading ridiculous sums of money for them. I mean, who needs a house when you can have a bunch of tulips? The prices got so out of control that the Dutch government had to step in and regulate it, because someone's got to keep those tulip prices from getting too wild. Fact number 3 appears on screen. Host, and finally, let's talk about Coca-Cola's original formula, which was essentially a bunch of weird stuff like coca leaves and cocaine. Yeah, that's right, the same stuff that'll get you high. But hey, it worked for them, right? I mean, who needs a boring old soda when you can have one that'll knock you off your feet? Outro music plays. Host, that's it for Chapter 1 of BrainRotFacts. Stay tuned for more mind-blowing facts that are just plain crazy. See you in the next video, folks. Title, Stupid Things in History That Somehow Actually Worked, and you're welcome for learning. Intro music plays, followed by upbeat banter. Hey, Brain Rot fans! Welcome back to BrainRotFacts. Today we're talking about the stupidest things in history that somehow actually worked. And trust me, you're gonna thank us for saving your sanity, or lack thereof. Alright, let's get started. Fact number 1, the first successful attempt at making a vaccine was made by Edward Jenner in 1796. Yes, folks, the OG vaccine guy. He used cowpox to create immunity against smallpox. Mind you, this was before we had Instagram filters or even decent lighting. That's right, people thought cowpox would be the new Botox. Fact number 2, in ancient Greece, they believed that a bad haircut could lead to epilepsy. Who knew? They'd literally cut off your hair to cure you. Can you imagine if we had to get our hair done at the doctor's office nowadays? Just think about it. The waiting room would be filled with people getting their hair trimmed while simultaneously receiving a diagnosis of ADHD. Fact number 3, in the 19th century, doctors thought that inhaling ether could cure just about anything. It was like the original cure-all potion. Who knew? Well, besides these brain rot enthusiasts, of course. That's it for today, folks. Don't worry, we won't make you inhale ether to learn more brain rot facts. Stay tuned for more hilarious history lessons and remember, sometimes stupid things actually work. Outro music plays. Thanks for watching, Brain Rot fans. Stupid things in history that somehow actually worked. So, you know what's wild? Sometimes people do things that are so crazy, they actually work. Like. Number 3. Did you know that in ancient Greece, the philosopher Aristotle believed that the earth was round, but only because he thought it was too small to be a sphere? Laugh, I mean, dude, that's like me thinking my cat is secretly a ninja because it can knock over a lamp from across the room. Chuckle. But seriously, this crazy theory led Aristotle to correctly guess that the earth orbited the sun. Impressed mouth noise, yeah, no big deal. And get this, his students were so convinced by his logic that they started using his heliocentric model, that's a fancy word for sun-centered, in their own math problems. Number 2. In the 19th century, a dude named Cyrus McCormick invented the mechanical reaper, basically a machine that cut grain for farmers. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a total game changer, but only because he had to convince people it wouldn't make them lose their jobs. Worried frown, oh no, we'll all be replaced by machines. Yeah, dude, you were basically warning us about the rise of TikTok. Laugh. And number 1. Okay, so you know how we take antibiotics for granted now? Well, back in the 1920s, scientists thought that if they could just figure out what caused a disease, they'd be able to cure it. And get this, they basically stumbled upon penicillin by accident when some fungus grew on moldy bread, gasp. Talk about a happy accident. So there you have it, folks, stupid things in history that somehow worked. Who knew being wrong could be so right? Intro music plays, followed by a snappy opening line. Host, in a playful tone, you know what's wild? History is full of crazy ideas that somehow worked out, like your aunt's secret recipe for potato salad. But trust me, these next 3 are the real MVPs, most valuable peculiarities. Fact number 1, the world's first computer bug was an actual insect. Host, in a dramatic voice, imagine you're programming the ENIAC, one of the first computers ever built, and suddenly, your calculations start malfunctioning. You look up, and there it is, a real-life moth ruining the party. This little guy got its wings caught in a relay switch, causing the system to crash. Talk about being the ultimate buzzkill. Fact number 2, in ancient China, they used, wait for it, human urine as a medicine. Host, in a disgusted tone, yikes. You'd think this would be the lowest point in history, but nope, it was actually believed to have healing properties. Like, hey, I've got a fever, and the only prescription is a nice glass of pee. Who knew the ancient Chinese had such, creative solutions? Fact number 3, the concept of zero was invented by an Indian mathematician named Aryabhata, and it changed everything. Host, in an excited tone, whoa. Imagine if someone told you that without zero, we'd be stuck in a world where math was as confusing as your aunt's cooking instructions. But Aryabhata came along and said, hey, let's just create this thing called zero, and watch the world get all sorts of cool. Outro music plays. Host, and that's it for Chapter 4, Stupid Things in History That Somehow Actually Worked. Stay tuned for more brain-rotting facts that'll make you go, wait, what? You know what's wild? Some of the most ridiculous ideas in history actually worked. Like, I'm not saying they were genius or anything, but still. Let's get into it. So, have you ever heard of the phrenological head measuring trend from the 1800s? Yeah, it was a thing. People believed that by measuring the shape and size of your skull, you could determine your intelligence, creativity, or even criminal tendencies. Laugh, like, what if I told you that some people actually bought into this nonsense? Apparently, there were people who'd pay good money to have their heads measured by these experts to learn more about themselves. It's like, imagine getting a personality test and being told your results are based on the shape of your forehead. Chuckle. And get this, it wasn't just some fringe group. Some pretty smart people back then actually believed in phrenology. Gasp, like, who knew that even Einstein had a soft spot for head measuring? Laugh. So, there you have it, Chapter 5, Stupid Things in History That Somehow Worked. Because sometimes, the most absurd ideas can lead to some pretty interesting, and laughable, consequences. And that's a wrap on another episode of Brain Rot Facts. You know what's even more brain rotting? Trying to get your grandma to use Snapchat. But seriously, before we go, let's recap some of these wild historical facts. Like, did you know the first computer bug was an actual insect that got stuck in a relay switch in 1947? Yeah, it's true. And it didn't even have Instagram to worry about. Or how about this, in ancient Egypt, they used to treat headaches by hitting themselves with a stick. Like, I get it, pain relief, but come on, there had to be better options than just whacking yourself. And finally, did you know the first GPS device was actually developed for the US military in the 1970s? Yeah, it's like they knew we'd all need help finding our way out of a TikTok algorithm at some point. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your brain, and your grandma, will thank you.